Hello friends, I am Satpal Verma here, Assistant Professor of English at Government National College Sirsa. Today I am going to discuss a very important topic, that is poetic forms and poetic devices. Dear friends, a basic knowledge of the poetic forms and poetic devices is essential for the better understanding of literature, especially English literature. Some poetic forms are sonnet, lyric, elegy, ode, dramatic monologue, and free verse. As for poetic devices, you can enumerate rhythm and rhyme, alliteration, simile, metaphor, personification, and many more. Well, today the topic of discussion is sonnet and lyric. Dear friends, there are at least 2 sonnets prescribed in the syllabus of BA 3rd semester. School level, you must have studied some of these sonnets and lyrics. So first of all, we shall discuss sonnet. So the question arises, what do you or what do we mean by sonnet? A sonnet is an important poetic form. It is a poem of 14 lines. Means it is made up of 14 lines, or any poem that is of 14 lines can be called a sonnet in a sense. It has an intricate rhyme scheme. The term sonnet has been derived from the Italian word sonetto, which means a little song or a little sound. It was developed first in Italy. As far as major forms of sonnets are concerned, there are mainly 2 major forms, the Italian sonnet and the English sonnet. So first of all, we shall take up the Italian sonnet. Since the sonnet was originated and developed first in Italy, so it is called the Italian sonnet. It is also called the Petrarchan sonnet because Petrarch, a 14th century Italian poet, was its major early practitioner. The Italian sonnet is divided into 2 parts, octave and sestet. Octave means the first 8 lines of the poem, and octave is an Italian word. The octave forms the proposition wherein the poet raises, or you can say describes, a problem or question. Keep in mind, octave is an Italian word. And next is this second part of the Italian sonnet is sestet. They are, I think, Italian words and they are adjectival use. So sestet means the 6 lines. Here it means the last 6 lines. In the sestet, the poet tries to resolve the issue or the problem raised in the octave part. I think you are getting my point. In the octave, the poet raises a question, he describes a problem, he talks about a major issue of the time, you can say, and he describes it all in the octave part. And when the sestet part start, you can say in the sestet, he tries to resolve the problem which has been raised or described in the octave. The rhyme scheme in the first 8 lines, that is in the octave part, is A B B A A B B A, and in the sestet it is C D E C D E, or there may be some variation as C D C C D C or C D C D C D. तो 6 lines होते हैं ये. So keep in mind again that the sestet begins with the turn of idea. There is always change in the rhyme scheme, and the change in the rhyme scheme implies that there is a change of idea. There is a turn of idea, and you can say there is a signal of a movement from proposition to resolution, and this turn of idea is technically known as Volta. It is all about the Italian on the Petrarchan sonnet. Well, now we will talk about the second type of sonnet, that is the English sonnet. And the English sonnet was born out of the Italian sonnet form. It was introduced into English poetry by Sir Thomas Wit and Henry Howard Shorey. The English sonnet has been named after William Shakespeare. You must have heard the name of William Shakespeare. He is famous in world literature as most famous dramatist. And the English sonnet was named as Shakespearean sonnet because William Shakespeare was one of its most famous practitioners. The Shakespearean sonnet is made up of 3 quatrains. Quatrains means 4-line stanzas and a concluding couplet at the end of the sonnet. So we have 3 quatrains, that is 3 into 4, that is 12, and 1 couplet, that is of 2 lines, so we have 14 lines. In the quatrains, the poet proposes or explores an idea, and in the concluding couplet, the poet refutes the idea, or you can say throws a challenge, and again you can say he puts a different spin on the idea or the issue presented in the quatrains. And that is why the concluding couplet of the Shakespearean sonnet is also known as Volta or turn of idea. Dear friends, keep in mind that Volta is a turn of idea. Here the rhyme scheme changes, and the change in the rhyme scheme implies that the idea being presented by the poet or the sonneteer is also going to be changed. As we have seen that in the Italian sonnet, the volta occurs in line number 9. That is, from the beginning of the sestet part, volta starts, or you can say the volta occurs in line number 9. But in a Shakespearean sonnet or in an English sonnet, volta occurs in the concluding or the final couplet. So as far as rhyme scheme of the Shakespearean sonnet is concerned, it is AB AB, CD CD, EF EF, and GG GG. So friends, while studying English literature, you will study, and I can say you will come across both Shakespearean and Italian sonnets. As far as famous sonnets of English literature are concerned, you can enumerate the names of Sonnet 18, On His Blindness, The World is Too Much with Us, England in 1816, and many more. If we talk about a sonnet, which you can also see on the slides, that William Shakespeare has written as many as 154 sonnets. And so Sonnet 18, often titled Shall I Compare Thee to a Summer's Day, is a typical Shakespearean sonnet. It is remarkable for its simplicity and loveliness. This sonnet is a statement of praise about the beauty of the fair youth who is more lovely and temperate than a summer's day. It is a typical Shakespearean sonnet consisting of 3 quatrains followed by a couplet, and it has the characteristic rhyme scheme AB AB, CD CD, EF EF, GG GG. And the volta also occurs in the, you can say, in the couplet. And as far as another example of second type of sonnet, that is the Italian sonnet is concerned, we can take the name of a very famous sonnet, The World is Too Much with Us. It is an Italian sonnet written by William Wordsworth, an English poet. Here the poet discusses the materialistic attitude of modern people, thereby neglecting nature. This problem is raised by the poet in the octave, while in the sestet the poet declares that he would give up his religion. If we quote his original lines, I would rather be a pagan, suckled in a creed outworn. So it's very famous line, and this sonnet has also been prescribed for the study for the students of BA third semester. So friends, you can read the sonnets prescribed in your syllabus and identify various features associated with these sonnets which I have already mentioned, or which I have already talked about. In case you find any doubt or suppose a question arises in your mind, you can write in the comment box. Well friends, let's talk about another important poetic form, that is lyric. In the original Greek, a lyric referred to a song. However, in English literature, a lyric is any fairly short poem not longer than 50 or 60 lines. It expresses the thoughts and feelings or varied moods of a single speaker, and it is personal and subjective in manner. So keep in mind three things so far: that a lyric is a short, and it is also famous as short musical poem. It expresses the thoughts, feelings, varied moods, states of mind of a single speaker, and the so-called thoughts, feelings, state of mind of a single speaker is or are expressed in a personal and subjective manner. As far as speaker is concerned, the speaker of the poem may not necessarily be the poet himself, but we cannot deny the fact that the speaker of the poem may be the poet himself. Both the chances are there. The narrator may be speaking alone, say thinking aloud by himself. In this way, he allows the reader to get an understanding of how the speaker or the narrator is feeling at a particular time and about a particular subject. Let's take up an example. There is a famous lyric, "When I Heard the Fly Buzz," written by Emily Dickinson. Herein, the narrator is conveying his or her state of mind or mood at the time of death. So the idea is clear that the manner is subjective and personal. And what is the subject? The death. What is the time? The time of death. So let's take another example. There is a famous lyric written by Johann Donne, and the name of the lyric is Canonization. Herein, the narrator is addressing another person, and the another person is most probably his beloved. He wants to convey to his beloved that their love can be immortalized, their love can be canonized. Therefore, it is clear that the I of the lyric need not be the poet himself. It may be a fictional narrator as well. Though a lyric is most of the time personal and subjective, but it can be uttered in a public voice on public occasions. For example, Walt Whitman's ceremonial poem, "O Captain, My Captain," deals with the death of Abraham Lincoln, and the speaker, that is I, speaks for the public. So, in the end, let us talk about varied types or various kinds of lyric. But before we enumerate various types of lyric, I would like to say something, and you will be surprised to hear. that the range and variety of lyric is immense. Dear friends, that is beyond your imagination, you can say. Lyric poetry comprises most of the poetry written so far, or you can say that most of the poetry written so far can be categorized under a single title, lyric. Therefore, we have love lyric, we have dramatic lyric, that is dramatic monologue, we have long lyric called ode, reflective poetry called elegy. And as far as your own syllabus of BA third semester is concerned, so many lyrics in varied forms have been prescribed for your study. And when you will study your poems, then you can identify and you will be surprised to identify their features. So I hope you have got most of the points about lyric. You can read the poems prescribed in your syllabus and identify their poetic forms, which we have already discussed. In case of any doubt, you can ask me or drop me question or your doubt in the comment box. Thank you for watching the video. All the best, and in the next video we shall discuss another two poetic forms, that is elegy and ode. Thank you. All the best.